Friends, fellow golfers, golf fans, my golf students. I did recently a short pro comparison of Phil Mickelson's wedge game, a superb feeler of the swing, incredible touch. I'm going to do a quick summary of his full driver swing now, having been the oldest PGA professional to win a major championship. I believe it is his 8th major championship. Incredible. So one of the really great Hall of Famers and all-time greats. What characterizes Phil Mickelson in his entire swing, and in fact in his entire game, has been his imagination, his touch and feel. He's not a mechanistic golfer. He feels it, he shows it, he gives it. Sometimes it results in rather wild swings, and even in this particular swing, it's just incredible how he's able to correct himself in what is rather some unorthodox key positions as he goes back and comes down. Some of his swing here is sort of an amateur's worst nightmare, because if you don't have the sort of touch and feel that Phil Mickelson has, it's very difficult to get it right in the way that he does. So while it might be something to look at and be in awe of, perhaps it's not the easiest thing to emulate, because if you can't do the sort of correction that he makes, it will result in some disastrous results. But what a character, what fun to watch. Now in the latest PGA major championship that he won, he added to all of that an incredible discipline, mental discipline, and mental agility to stay completely in the zone, to stay focused. And that's what got him through. He had the talent. He had an enormous, fantastic short game and accuracy, as I've shown in the clip on his wedges and chipping. But this time he stayed focused through the 4 rounds and really pulled off an incredible win, even against the great Brooks Koepka in the final round paired with him. All hats off to him. So let's move on to his full swing. The thing to notice when you set up is he's very balanced and very athletic. Incredible as a 50-year-old how much he has stayed in shape. He still works out incredibly. He is also on a particular diet that seems to work and help him. Not necessarily one that everyone can copy. A little bit like Bryson DeChambeau at the other extreme. In mid-swing, his hands are very deep and his club is very flat. The club being very flat makes it somewhat difficult. He's going to have to correct it as he comes down. At the top, his hands and clubs are very long and well across his body, so well past that 90-degree level. In the clip that I've just done on Brooke Henderson, you'll see she has a similar takeaway all the way back. But it also shows his athleticism and flexibility at 50. So if he can do it, maybe we can stay in shape too. Coming into transition, he has 2 characteristics that often are not associated with what one teaches or what one sees in the other pros. He has a very narrow transition and an extremely steep transition. So he's coming down on the ball very steeply rather than the flowing, shallow swing that is associated with a lot of good pros and a great draw. And in part because he's got so much feel and touch, he's able to correct himself. It works very well for him because he's a feel and touch player. And what that demonstrates is there isn't one way to swing the club. Now, perhaps if you look at most top pros, between the sort of just before impact to just after impact point, they almost all do a very similar thing in very similar position. But the rest of the swing and movement is very different, and perhaps that's something we should come back to at another time, because it's that centerpiece where they come back and recenter and recover the ball that is really key to the good shots. So irrespective of how you go back and how you to some extent come down in the initial part of transition, if you get that centerpiece right with that square club face and of course the speed to go with it and the full flow, then you can have almost any swing look, but it may result in the good ball distance and ball position that we associate with the top pros. Notice also that his club face is very open on his transition, and that could for most of us be rather dangerous, because then we really either slice it, or if you try to overcorrect it, you hook it, which he sometimes does and has a wild shot. But his ability to make the correction as he goes through into those right positions at impact is incredible. And then let's look at just post-impact. Just post-impact, you'll see he rolls his wrist significantly. And that's part of the fact that he had his club face open, he was steep. So now as he comes through, he has to roll the wrist to turn the club over to get it through. And so the exaggerated wrist roll is specific to Mickelson's swing. I hope that these few very quick pointers on Phil Mickelson's rather unique and unusual swing, but clearly highly successful for him and for his performances, has been illuminating and interesting to you. Do subscribe, lots more exciting stuff to come. Give a like if you feel inclined. Happy golfing, and see you on the flip side, my friends.